Hello, good afternoon and welcome back to another episode on the Annoy Dad channel. Today we are going to be doing the review of February. As I'm recording this, it is actually the last day of February. I think it's going to go up on either the 1st or the 2nd because we're still trying to do 2 videos a week, if at all possible. So as I explained in the first one we done, which was January's one, we're just going to run through all of the odd little jobs that we have done around the place and what's coming up that we wouldn't do in one little video because there just isn't any point in doing it. So let's crack on, because I've been accused of waffling too much. Got more waffle than bird's eye apparently. So what have we done? We have planted the vines, grapevines. They have gone in. You would have seen them last month, they were still in their pots. We haven't put the wires up for them yet because obviously we need to put up wires to train them, but they haven't been done yet. You also see it's a glorious day, it's lovely. It's a bit windy, you might be able to hear the wind, and a little bit chilly, but other than that, it's glorious. If January was a wet month, the whole of February has been the exact opposite. We've had very, very little rain. We've had the odd little bits and pieces. We have also put in some extra trees here. You see we've got one here. This is plum, as my godson calls it, a stick. But you can see it's just starting to, camera focus, there we go. So it's just starting to sprout up a little bit. And it won't be too much longer before that springs into life. We then got the Coxey's orange pippin. I will explain where I got these trees from in just a second. Another apple tree. Another apple tree. This one's actually just gone in today. But you can see that's got green stuff on, which I'll explain in just a second. And then we got a pear tree, but there's only one of them. And again, you can see that it's got, it's sprouting, shall we say, already. There we go. So yeah, these trees, in that lovely straight line, you can see that I've put them in there, actually come from Tesco's. They were any 2 for a tenner. So we brought some, we gave one to a friend. But these last 2 trees that had the sprouting on, they are the last ones we brought, and we brought them yesterday. So where they've been in the warm store, they are already starting to sprout out leaves, whereas the older ones that we brought just after they'd arrived at the store haven't, because they haven't been warm enough for long enough, but they're getting there. So if you want to buy some, nip down to Tesco's, 2 for a tenner, cheap as chips, but grab them quickly and get them in the ground now. I will just also say, just prior to going around and looking at the birds, is that there isn't any bees here yet. I have been up to where the bees are at the minute, and I think we might have lost one hive over the winter. Not hive, the colony over the winter. But other than that, the bees are looking really, really good, and we are hoping to get the bees up here very soon to start the pollination in our orchard. The tractor made it through winter, woohoo, and it still works, yay! So that means that we can get out and about, and we can start to mow, and we can start to rotivate, and we can start to do the stuff that we want to do to get ready to plant the pumpkins, the sweet corn, the squashes, and everything else like that. So I am really, really pleased that the tractor made it through. Next video coming up is going to be when we start our, what they call it a restoration, I think it is. The tractor needs a lot of work doing to it, but it's all little bits and pieces, and I don't want it to be a pristine example. I just want it to be a tractor that works how it ought to work. So yeah, that's going to be the next video coming up. I ordered parts for it the other day, and quite exciting to be able to work on that. Unfortunately, the little tractor, or the grass cutter, whatever you want to call it, that didn't fare so well. I think the ignition coil has gone on it. Because it tries to turn over, it's got fuel and everything else like that, but there just isn't any spark there. So you need to get a new ignition coil for this, get that fitted, and then I'll be able to move it out of the way. Right, if you've watched this far, stick around until the end, because I'm going to go back home, and we've got some chicks at home that I can show you that are at home that we actually hatched out, unlike our eBay fail one. So I've had to basically rebuild the whole of the front of this coop for the chickens because it was rotten. I knew it was rotten, and I was going to leave it until the winter, not the winter, until the spring was here properly to do it, but then it started to fall down, and I was like, no, I need to jump in there and get it done and do it now. Chickens, birds, all of them other than the geese are still under lockdown. If you're not from the UK, there has been outbreaks of avian flu. So the avian flu has meant that we are legally required to keep all of our birds undercover. Easiest way to keep them undercover is just to keep them locked up and keep them away. So yeah, this is how it really looks. That's not too bad in there. I have seen worse, and I have seen some people struggling. You'll see the turkey Jake in there. That's not Mr. Gobbler, that's Mr. Gobbler's son. And if you look round, you'll be able to see a Norfolk Black there. He's got 2 young ladies in there with him now. We was able to pick them up from a place where we knew that the birds had been isolated, because we know the place, and we was able to pick up 2 from there to be able to come out with them. So yeah, these guys here, they're the same. There's good old Mr. Gobbler. You all right there, Big G? Yeah. Now, there was a black one in here, that one just there. I always thought that one was a girl, but actually turns out it's a boy. There's another one of the blacks. She ended up coming in here. So we got 2 males and 2 ladies in here. I should also say that everybody is laying at the minute. Now, if you want to know what lockdown really looks like for the creatures, you know, we just have to stick our heads into here. And you can see the poor ducks. They're in there. Ducks have actually started laying. If you watch my video for the YouTube shorts, you'll see that the geese have also started laying as well. Unfortunately, we did come down the other day and I opened them up in that coop where we've just been, which is where I keep the dewlap Toulouses, and one of them was dead. No idea why. I don't know what happened to her. She was perfectly fine the evening before, and then yeah, just the next morning she's dead. So we are keeping a close eye on everybody else because of this avian flu, but everybody else looks to be okay. So I'm just hoping it was just a quirk, or maybe something she ate, or some issue like that. But otherwise, everyone else, other than being absolute total pains in the backside at this time of year through the breeding and that, they all want to attack my legs, because of course now we've got past most of the frost, shorts are on, and there we go. They are being nice and noisy. I have heard a few complaints just over there. It's over the other side of these trees here. There's a holiday park, and whilst people shouldn't be holidaying at this current time, there are people who live there permanently, although they really shouldn't be. And I have heard a few people moan about the noise of the geese, but I don't care. So let's nip over back to home and you can see what I've hatched and what I've brought. Okay, so we're back at home and you can see we've been shopping. You may have seen me put up a post about these. We have got the River ET12 incubator. So that's coming up as a test. And we have got the Arcom 10. That's coming up as another one. And then upside down there, we've got a Brinsea Ovation EX28. So we've got about £700 worth of incubators sat here. I did get hold of the company I was going to buy them off, and I turned around to them and I said, hey guys, I'm just about to buy all of these incubators. Do you have any voucher codes, any money off codes, anything that you could help with? And they got back to me and they very kindly said, if you put your order in, if you choose next day delivery, we will minus off the cost of that for you. I went on the website, I looked at the next day delivery, and they were going to minus off £4 for me. I thought, great. Now I won't tell anybody who it was I brought them from. We do have a few other bits and bobs that are going on at the minute. Like you can see, we got 2 eggs in there. That's the wife. She ordered some more off of eBay. And they're going for it at the minute. And you can see just down here, I've got the goose eggs ready to go. And the egg in the middle is actually one that come off of some of the wife's other birds. So not too bad. So plenty is happening. There's going to be loads happening this next month. And then once we hit April, that is it. Everything's going to go mad because we're going to have to start planting. And we got tractors to sort out, and we got birds to sort out, and we're breeding, and oh my god, it's going to be so busy. So thank you so much for watching. If you have not already done so, please do hit the subscribe button. And until the next video, bye bye.